Congratulations, you made it to Earth. Whether this is your first time around or you've been here many times before, I am so stoked that you're here. My name is Tanner. Welcome to Earth 101, a podcast about how to be human in the midst of a massive shift in the collective consciousness. We will chat all about life purpose, healing, spirituality, awakening, and a whole lot more that I have yet to think of. Thank you so much for your support. I hope you enjoy. Welcome back. Earth 101 episode 3. Got another good one for you today. It's a very hot topic. I mean, all these spiritual topics are. But everyone's got something to say about it, it seems like. It's the topic of manifestation. Creating your reality here on this planet. I want to start with a preface. These are my beliefs. They are not provable fact. I'm not saying these as if they are objectively true. It's a frame of view that I use to perceive the world. And if it's of value to you, that's awesome. I hope it is. That's why I'm doing this. And if it doesn't resonate, then I wish you the best of luck on your journey to find something that does. And so let's get started. Manifestation. Getting everything you want in this world. The big car, the hot wife, the 6-figure salary. It's like ordering from a catalog from the universe. I want this, and this. That is kind of a perception that people have of manifestation. That it's this superpower to attract whatever you want in this life. And to be honest, it can work that way. We have very powerful minds. We're the only creatures on this planet that can envision an idea in our head. We can see it and then bring it into reality. We're super powerful creators. We can create whatever we want. And so that means within the framework of this earth that we live in, you can have the fancy car and the job on the 67th floor of the Empire State Building, if that's a goal that people have. But that's only one way to use this law of manifestation. But the thing about manifestation is that it is neutral. It's not something positive and it's not something negative. It's not so much a tool that we learn how to use or a skill to be acquired, but more so a universal law that we tap into. And so just like the law of gravity, the law of inertia, it is just there. It's just a way that the universe works. And so it's not good or bad inherently. What we do with it can bring positive results or it can bring negative results. And so that's where I want to start today, is talking about these two paths, these two ways to use it, because it's really important to distinguish if you're going to go down this path of tapping into your connection to the universe and the laws of it. So we have, just like everything, we have the negative polarity and we have the positive polarity. We're not going to be 100% positive or 100% negative, because in this earth, in this world that we live in, just like I spoke about in my last episode about polarity, in order for existence to happen, we have to have the positive and the negative. So as I talk about this, I'm not saying that you need to be 100% positive as you pursue this path, but discussing the positive and negative polarities allows us to better understand how we can tap into these energies. So, a way that you can think about the two paths of using manifestation is the path of service to self and the path of service to others. Service to self is a path of allowing your ego to guide your decisions and really leaning in to your desires and your impulses. And it is sacrificing the collective for personal gain. The other end, which is the positive polarity, is service to others. Service to others is leaning into the collective. It is tapping into unity and love. And at times it can be a sacrifice of personal gain for collective evolution. So these are those two sides. And it's important to note that when you're going about this path, learning how to call in things into your reality, the way that you use it can either be for the positive polarity or the negative polarity. And that's your choice. When I started this kind of process of awakening and understanding the power that I hold as a human being on this planet, it was so exciting to figure out what I can have whatever I want. It was kind of intoxicating. It was like I unlocked this new power or this new level, and I was ecstatic. Just like my mind was blown when I started to practice this and understand that, like, man, I actually have power here and I can influence my reality and I can create whatever I want. And so at the beginning of my path, I was really leaning more into the service to self. And that's really common as people first start to understand the way that the universe works and understand their power as creators here. It's really tempting to go all the way in and just kind of play around with personal impulses. And so that is a valid part of all of our paths, is learning how to work with these energies. And sometimes you're gonna end up using them to serve yourself. And so as I discuss this, I'm not judging anyone who is on the path of learning that service to self doesn't actually work. Because there are some people who came here to learn the lesson that a 6-figure salary and a hot partner and fame doesn't actually bring you happiness. There are some people that are on that path and they're in the middle of learning that lesson. So we're not here to judge people who are in the middle of learning that. So this isn't to say that the service to self path is bad, or that people that have focused their life on serving themselves are bad. It's just to say that I want you to be aware of these two options, and I want you to be aware of the consequences or the result of these two different options. So with that being said, we have the positive and negative polarity, or the service to others, service to self polarity. Another way that you can describe it is Christ consciousness or Luciferian consciousness. And people really associate these two words with good versus bad, light versus dark, they're very weighty words because they're associated with God and the devil, which is a really scary word to use. But really what they are energies or frames of consciousness that we can tap into. And so Jesus is a symbol of Christ consciousness, and Satan can be a symbol of Luciferian consciousness, but they are distinct from each other. Christ consciousness is the energy of love and unity, and Luciferian consciousness is the energy of separation. And as I mentioned in the last episode, this physical world only exists because of separation. So separation isn't inherently bad. It was part of this process of learning about ourselves and evolving. So we needed separation in order to have this existence. But that doesn't mean that it's what we want to lean into, because the other side of it is unity, which is where we come from. It's an understanding that we are all one and that we come from the same place, which is pure universal love. And as we navigate our lives, we can either commit our life path to Christ consciousness, unity, the positive polarity, or we can commit our life path to Luciferian consciousness, negative, or the negative polarity. And this is not just a choice that you wake up and make one day and all of a sudden you're 100% Christ consciousness, because that's impossible. If we were 100% Christ consciousness, we wouldn't exist because we would all be one, which is where we're trying to head. But instead, it's taking note of your overall trend as you navigate your life of what you're contributing to. So if you think about the weather versus climate, the weather changes every single second. It is from day to day, like in Colorado here, it is 80 degrees. Literally yesterday, it was 80 degrees. I'm in the mountains where the air is thin and the weather changes fast. It was 80 degrees, and then it was hailing like 15 minutes later. So the weather changes very frequently, and you can relate that to your everyday actions. So 1 minute it's sunny and you're contributing to service to others. And then an example of that could be like volunteering or giving your friend a gift. And then the other 10 minutes later, it's hailing outside and you're committing a service to self, which might be eating an entire cup of dark chocolate peanut butter cups from Trader Joe's, which I do frequently. That's not serving anyone else. That's giving in to my own impulses. And so we cycle between these two every single day. So don't beat yourself up if you explode at your kid because they were annoying you. You know, that's service to self. It's not service to others. But we're all going to do these things. We're here. We're in physical reality. It's bound to happen. But what you want to look at is the climate of your life. So if you look at the climate of a year, it goes from 90 degrees in the summer down to a low of 10 degrees, depending on where you live, and then back up to 90. So it's a much larger period, and you can track a much larger trend. And so look at your life. are you, if you look at the trend, are you committing your life in an upward direction like spring, where the temperature is increasing, you're polarizing towards love and unity and service to others? Or are you committing your life to service to self in a downward negative polarity, or your temperature is decreasing like the fall? And like I said, it's up to you. It's up to you what you would like. But so if you want to be the next Bill Gates or Hillary Clinton or Jeff Bezos, then you can go for it. But listen to the wise words of Jim Carrey. I remember Jim Carrey talking about this when I was younger, that he had this awakening that he got the fame, he got the money, and realized that it didn't actually fulfill him. And so you can save yourself a lot of heartbreak if you start to integrate these lessons early. All right. So that is a little bit about the two sides that you can use manifestation to tap into and to commit your life to. So what actually is manifestation? This is also something that is widely debated and controversial. People have different opinions about it. But my view of it is that manifestation is changing your resonance so that you can only hold in your life the things that match that resonance. So if you think about two different like vibrating, those like sound makers where you like ding and they're at different frequencies. If you ding two of them at the same frequency, then or it like harmonizing frequencies, then it's going to sound good. That's where music comes from, is frequencies that resonate with each other and sound good with each other and create a beautiful harmony. And then you have things that are out of resonance, where you play them together and it forces you to like turn it off, plug your ears, like it's like nails on a chalkboard. And so that's what you're doing when you are tapping into this practice of manifestation, is you are adjusting your own resonance so that it's impossible for anything in your life. It's impossible for you to be okay with anything in your life that's not at your resonance. So an example of this is in partnership. So a lot of people think about manifestation and the first thing they think is, I want to manifest the perfect partner for myself. And so they envision someone with brown hair and blue eyes with this specific build and these specific traits, almost like they're ordering a human off of a catalog. And so they change their resonance so that that's the only thing that they allow in their proximity. And so if a blonde hair perfect person comes into their life, they're like, nope, I'm only accepting brown hair, blue eyes. And they cut themselves off from that, the possibility of what the universe has in store for them. The other way that you can use it is simply by tapping into the universal truth that you are loved and you are valued. If you do this, if you understand this, and it's not like you're pretending to understand it or you're faking it till you make it, it's like researching and like contemplating the universe and why we're here in the world until you come to an understanding that, wait, I am inherently valuable. I am loved. And I am worthy of love. You have shifted your resonance so that anyone who comes into your life that doesn't match that, it's like nails on a chalkboard. If you understand, I am so valuable here. I have an important purpose. I am deserving of love and respect, and you deeply understand that, then if you go on a date and someone's treating you poorly, it's impossible for you to keep them in your life. It stands out so much, you're like, there is no way I'm going to see you ever again. And so when you change your resonance, what it's doing is it's causing you to, without even thinking, take the steps necessary to maintain that resonance. Another example is if you say you want to manifest a fulfilling job and you want to feel like you have purpose, you want to feel fulfilled. As you tap into this truth that you are valuable, that you have a very important purpose here, and that you are talented and you have something unique to bring to the world, if you get a job and your boss doesn't value your work or is treating you poorly, then you're not going to have it. You're like, wait, this does not make sense. I'm valuable. I am skilled. I'm talented. I have something unique to bring to the world. And none of these people see that. So it makes zero sense for me to stay here. Or you, with this new understanding of your value, it causes you to only apply for jobs that match that value. And so people that haven't tapped into these truths, that don't think they're valuable, that don't think they have something unique to bring to the world, they settle. And so manifestation, it's not this like, it's not you asking for something and then your external environment changes. What it is you changing. You change your beliefs about yourself and the world. And once you change in that way, then you make all of the choices to align with that resonance. So it's not some magic solution that all of a sudden now I'm going to be happy because I can have my perfect person that's finally going to come into my life and make me happy, or I'm finally going to have my perfect job that's finally going to make me happy because I've never had that before. That's not how it works. It's you changing your own perception of yourself in the world so that you make the right decisions like without even thinking about it. You don't even need to have a conscious thought, because when something comes into your reality that's out of alignment with what you know is true, you're going to put your foot down and be like, I am not letting this slide. There is no way I'm continuing down this path. So that's what I believe manifestation is. And to kind of circle back to this path of positive polarity versus negative polarity, you can either use it to bring into reality God's plan for the world, which is a evolution towards love, or you can further polarize towards the negative energy and sacrifice the collective in order for you to have your personal gain. And so what that looks like for the path of tapping into God's plan is surrendering, understanding. It's coming to a deep understanding of these universal truths, which is I am abundant, I am protected, I am supported, I am valuable. And then simply surrendering. Because as soon as you understand and you do the work to address those negative thought patterns within your mind that contradict those positive beliefs, as soon as you allow those to resonate within you, then all you have to do is sit back, and God, Great Spirit, the universe will send things your way for you to bring into the reality. And they're going to be fulfilling. They're going to be, they're going to align with your value, and it's everything's going to start working in your favor. So to go a little deeper in how to actually manifest, like I just said about awakening those truths, I thought of 4 primary phrases or truths that we are all on a journey of learning how to embody. And so I'm going to go through those real quick. One is, I am abundant. This is something that people get really caught up on because we live in a world where we've been convinced that scarcity is a thing. Like our entire economic system is based on scarcity. Things are only valuable because they are scarce. And that's actually not how the world works. We have everything that we need provided for us by Mother Earth. She provides all. And so this idea of scarcity is actually just an illusion in order to make the system run how it's currently running. And that really scares people, because if there's someone who has had a history of poverty or of not getting fed or not having shelter, then it's really hard to adjust your view of the world to understand that we actually have everything that we need. And so if there's someone who has some kind of trauma with not having shelter, then they are going to do everything that they can to maintain shelter, because they have a core belief that this could be gone in any second. And then that's a threat to my life. So if opportunities come their way, say there's a really cool job that is aligned with their life path in a different state, but they are so terrified of a shift in their career because they risk losing the job or they risk not finding the right housing, then they don't follow their path because they have this fear that they actually aren't taken care of, that they're not abundant. And so once you really integrate this knowledge that regardless of what happens, now that I am an adult who is aligned with the universe, regardless of what happens, I'm going to be taken care of because I'm stepping onto my path. Once you understand that, then it opens you up to start taking risks, like, risk in quotes, and doing things that scare you, that are going to bring you closer to your life's purpose. The next one is, I am protected. This is a really sensitive and scary thing because there's evil on this planet, and people have been taken advantage of and been victims of violence, and so it's really painful to work through this kind of negative belief that some people have a core belief that they're unsafe. And it's for good reason, because when we're kids, if we have a threat to our safety, it becomes integrated into our being. We have no other choice than to be in fight or flight mode, because as a kid, you can't make a choice to change your environment like you can as an adult. You don't have the autonomy to change your reality. You are at the will of the people, of the adults that are in your world. And so it's a really difficult thought pattern to break, this idea that you're unsafe. And this is a triggering topic, but we choose to experience a set of circumstances as a kid in order to trigger our life path. And so while we don't have control over what we experience as a child, once we become a developed autonomous adult, then we do have control of the kind of environments that we allow ourselves to be in. And once you begin to understand that you are protected, that you are now safe, and that you have the universe on your side and that God is protecting you, then just like the thought of abundance, you begin to be able to surrender to what is in store for you and trust in your path and begin to align more with what is set out in front of you. The next one is I am supported. As you begin to awaken to your purpose here, everything around you is going to start working for your good and is going to push you into the direction of your path. And even if things happen that you feel like are scary or negative, if you are taking steps to align with your purpose, they are for your good. And then last is I am valuable. If you really integrate this knowledge that you have something unique to bring to the world and that you are a valuable contribution to the collective, then you allow yourself to step into your power here. If you have the belief that I am worthless, that I am untalented, that I bring nothing to this world, then you're never actually going to take the risks and act on the things that you feel you can contribute. In a sense, you kind of give up. You give up trying. But if you work to address the shadows and integrate the knowledge that you are valuable, then that will start to come into your reality and it will be reflected back to you. That got a little intense, but the thing is, through these topics that can feel heavy, it is all with the backdrop or the underlying message that is really, really good news. And that good news is that we can take control over our lives, that we are protected, that we are supported, and that we are part of a beautiful, incredible mission to bring love and unity into this world. One final note before I finish that I wanted to discuss is this idea of good versus evil and the role that pain plays in the process of evolution. Because as I talk about how there's no like good or bad, that Luciferian consciousness isn't inherently bad, or that service to self isn't inherently bad, that it's all part of the grand plan for our evolution, it can get kind of confusing about, well, if this is all part of God's plan, then why don't I just go about causing pain to everyone for my own gain? Like, what's the point of even trying to lean into the positive? If everything's part of God's plan, then wouldn't me being bad be part of God's plan? And so a way that I like to conceptualize this is the process of clearing your body of a virus. So right now on this planet, there is a lot of evil. I believe there's more good than evil, but there is still evil. There are people and systems that intentionally cause suffering and pain on others. And the process of purging evil, of purging darkness or sickness, is uncomfortable and painful. And so if you use the metaphor of this sickness of the earth being a sickness within your body, in order to purge your body of sickness, you throw up whatever's in your stomach, you have a fever in order to kill the virus. You have to go through these really painful processes in order to purge your body. And so this can be related to the choice that your soul makes to come here and experience discomfort and pain and suffering in order to purge darkness. So if someone experiences pain or neglect or abuse in their childhood, then they use that pain in order to start a nonprofit that rescues hundreds or thousands of kids from the same abuse or neglect that they went through. They chose to come here to experience a certain pain or discomfort in order to purge an even greater amount of darkness in the world. And it's a great sacrifice to make, but it's a very honorable and important one. And so to take it back to, like, why wouldn't I just go about causing pain? Because then if I'm causing pain to everyone, I'm contributing to their evolution. You don't go around sticking your finger down people's throats who are sick in order to purge them, because that's their own process. And so we can use evil or pain in order to heal ourselves and the world, but we're not going around getting people sick or sticking our fingers down people's throats to cause additional pain. We are on an upward trend toward love and unity, but we are wiggling up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down as we climb this hill. And so the downward troughs are the times that we choose to experience pain or suffering in order to rise back up. And so if all of us just decided to cause pain for other people under this false notion that it's all God's plan and that I'm helping people evolve by causing pain, then we would cause a downward trend. We would be spreading sickness. But what we want to do is use the pain in our world to purge the evil, purge the darkness, experience the discomfort, so that as we continue on this path, purging and using the pain, eventually we get lighter and lighter and lighter, and there's less pain, less evil, less darkness, and then eventually we transcend separation and we no longer need to experience this pain and discomfort. It's a really complicated topic to try to explain the role of evil and pain and darkness in this world, but I hope that gave you a little bit of an understanding of what I believe, and hopefully it helped you kind of make some peace with some of the pain that you see or have experienced yourself. So just know that the best thing you can do is be kind, and spread love. And while there is pain, and while we use that pain to evolve, eventually it's not going to be necessary anymore. And I think we're headed that way, which is a really beautiful and exciting thing. So you are powerful. You create your reality. And I encourage you, create love. Use the power to serve others and bring a positive message and mission into this world. Because I can promise you that's what you're here to do. All of us are here to do that. If you're here, you have a mission, and that mission is love. So, thank you for listening, and I hope this was beneficial. And if it triggered you, then let me know. And also reflect on what came up for you, because there's something there that's telling you something. Okay, much love. I'll see you next time.